mornings. I hope everyone's having a great day. This morning, and I don't know, y'all might not see this in the morning, but it's morning right now. And it's Friday morning at that. Yay, Friday. Today I wanted to talk about everyday cleansing. Um, I know that a lot of people do their big house cleansings, on the new moon or even the full moon. But this is just kind of an everyday, get rid of the yuck cleansing habits that you can do while you clean. So we all clean, every day pretty much, I hope. I mean, some days, we might take off, but usually it's an everyday process. And energy and all kinds of energy come into your homes every single day. And not just energy people send you or things like that. And I do have things set up around the house that kind of absorb negative energy, like bad thoughts that people send out, jealousy, any kind of bad, mojo kind of thing. And I do have things in place for that. But I'm more talking about the energy that we bring home, when we are at work and it's been a shitty day and it seems like everything's gone wrong and the boss has already chewed our ass once, and we come home and we're just, screw that guy, I hate my job. And even if you're not saying these things out loud, you're thinking them and you're putting off that energy, and the energy of your home can change, or let's say you and your partner have an argument. When I first started on my magical path way back in the day, it's always kind of saddening when I think about how many years have gone by. But whenever I first started my magical path, I would clean my house just like we do every day, and I would sit there and think, God, it doesn't feel clean. It's clean. There's not dirt, things look nice, it smells nice, but it's not clean. It feels yucky. It feels not right. And before long, I would realize it's because of the stuff we would bring home. My husband would come home from a crappy day at work, and he would sit in his chair and kind of stew about it, and he would talk about it, and we would talk about things and how he could have done things differently, or screw that guy, and things like that, things that husbands and wives talk about after a day of work. But now that my child is older, and even when she was younger, she would have this bad day, bad experience with her friends at school, and come home and be really sad or really disappointed. And so all of that would add to the atmosphere of the house. And I started noticing that in it. And of course, like I said, during like new moon cleansing, clearing and all that, you would get this relief and it would feel great for a couple of days, and then it would start kind of feeling yuck again. So now I just incorporate it in my everyday. Every day I clean, I do something. I do something to get rid of the yuck energy and bring in the positive, higher vibration, comfortable, happy, whatever the scenario, depending on the room, energy that makes people feel better. Even walking in the house is kind of like walking into a place where that junk you dealt with during the day is not an issue anymore. You kind of leave it at the door, and even if you do bring it in, it's not as bad, it's not as draining, it's not as insufferable, it's not as, you don't feel that anxiety, you feel calm. And once I started practicing and incorporating my magic in a daily kind of routine with the house, I noticed that people were happier. We didn't argue as much. There wasn't as much conflict. There was more talking and engaging and let's talk about this. Let's talk about our day. Let's, come up with creative things, and creativity would flow better, and everyone was overall happy, and still to this day, overall, the mood in our house is a much happier mood, and I would love for you to have that same experience if you don't already, and these are a few ways you can do that. So, what I do, besides, we all do like or some of us, if you're into crystals, we'll put different crystals, around the house. Amethyst, great for creativity, psychic, inspiration and things like that. Citrine for that happy, lucky, oh yay feeling, and tiger's eye to help balance things out. Black obsidian to kind of cut away the yuck and get rid and pull up some of the negative junk that we're dealing with, and getting rid of it, things like that. And that's all well and good, and I do that. I have little bowls of crystals everywhere, so I feel like that helps. But just on a daily, that's something that I kind of do around the moon phases. On a daily basis, though, sometimes it's not necessarily enough. So what I do is, besides my regular cleaning, I will add little ingredients, little thing here and there to get rid of the junk, get rid of the stress, get rid of the anxiety, get rid of the negativity that we can track in, and I will add in and program different rooms to feel different ways. One of the things I like to do anytime I'm cleaning, I'm concentrating on getting rid of that negative energy, and I'll use things like Florida water to clean with, especially when mopping. Florida water is great to use on your floors, and I'll just put a few drops of, y'all like this brand of Florida water. It is not very expensive. I make my own, but a lot of times, especially when roses aren't in season, that's just a great cheap Florida water to purchase. What is it called? Murray and Landman Florida water, Cologne, New York. It's great. I like it. I like the way it smells. It smells very similar to the Florida water I make. So, and like I said, it works really well. So what I will do is take whatever I'm using to mop with, whatever product either I have made or purchased, and I will add a few drops of Florida water in there. If I have mopped recently, like the day before, and the floor isn't, doesn't really need to be mopped again the next day, I will just get water and add a couple of drops and just go over it if I feel like it needs it, because it will remove all that junk, and it leaves this, to me, it's like a blank space. It is just pristine. It's like cleaning a chalkboard. There's nothing there, and it's really beautiful, and you can just put whatever you want on it, and that's kind of how I think about it whenever I'm doing this. It's like, clean slate, clean chalkboard, there's nothing there, now let's start adding energy. And I will add energy while I'm removing energy, because to me it's sort of a balance thing. If you leave something blank, nature has a way of filling it in for you if you don't fill it in yourself. So instead of letting nature decide, I will, while I'm cleaning out, cleaning the floors, Florida water, I will play music. In the kitchen, I will play something upbeat, something happy, something that gets your juices flowing, because whenever I cook, I don't want to be, feeling yucky. I don't want to feel down, because I feel like if I'm cooking while I feel like crap, then I'm passing that on to everyone in the family when they eat that meal. I'm infusing that meal because so much of my energy is going into that meal. I want to be happy. I want to be creative. I want to look forward to cooking. I want my family to look forward to cooking. We do a lot of family meals, as far as like we'll cook together, and especially my husband and I, and my daughter, now that she's older, she's really interested in learning how to cook. So we will cook together as a family a lot of times, and I want that to be a pleasant experience. I don't want everyone to be at each other's throats, And so I will play really happy music while I'm cleansing out this junk that's left over from the night before, where everyone was stressed out, or because that morning me and my daughter got into it because she was being cranky, and I was like, and lollygagging, and I was like, come on, we gotta go, school starts at a such and such time, and this, and we all have those mornings. So in order to get rid of that energy, because it will linger, that's what I do. And I'll play music, and I will burn incense. And I know a lot of people sage, and use sage smudge sticks, and I will do that during a really big cleanse, like I said, new moon, full moon, day, events like that. I don't sage smudge a lot. I don't like the smell of sage by itself, not burning. I love it in the garden, and I love it dried, and I just cannot stand the way it smells when it burns. I just can't. I usually mix other stuff like rosemary or eucalyptus or sweetgrass, something else in there, because I do not like the smell. So so I don't use it often, only when I feel like I really, really need it. What I prefer is different incense, different fragrances. There's all kinds of stuff out there, y'all, that will produce a lot of the same effects as sage, as far as cleaning things out and raising the vibration. Copal is great for purification. It also has a wonderful love vibe to it, and it can be kind of lusty. Most of your resins are pretty sexual and sensual, but to me, copal is not like patchouli or frankincense. Frankincense can have kind of a sexual, feeling to it. So to me, copal is not that potent in the lust, its sensual factor. It is much better in my mind for purification and just raising energy and bringing up to a nicer, more pleasant level. So I enjoy copal. I enjoy frankincense. It's a really good one. Myrrh is great. There's just so many that you can use. For my daughter's room, she is not big into the resins or real heavy, musky smells. She likes the brighter tones, the lighter and more like citrusy tones. So I like using orange. I don't use orange incense. I like orange wax, the Scentsy wax. I have a Scentsy burner in her room, and so I will use like orange cranberry is really fun because it has a nice uplifting, energetic vibe with a soothing vibe, especially for anxiety. And when she comes home from school, especially now that she's in junior high and things are getting a lot tougher, classes are more challenging and things are, more stressful. So when she comes home, she will be wore out and stressed and fatigued, and she wants to get things accomplished. So instead of doing something like lavender, which can soothe and calm, stress, it can also make you pass out. Lavender just sort of has that effect to where you'll calm down so much that you fall asleep. And she doesn't want that. She wants to be able to get her homework done and do what chores she has to do, and then hang out with her friends, online, play video games or outside, or whatever she wants to do. So in order to calm her down and but still keep her energetic, I like to use orange cranberry is fun, lemon balm, bergamot, all scents like that are very citrusy, but also have a calming effect, a soothing effect, I guess I should say. It's not so much calming as it is soothing, and there is a difference, even though it's kind of slight, there is a difference. So that's what I like to do in her room, and those are great scents to raise the vibration of a room. So even though I don't really clean in her room, that's kind of her job, but I will, open up windows, let in fresh air. That's another terrific way to get crap out of your house. Even if let's say, you don't really need to do all that much in the cleaning department because you cleaned your butt off yesterday, and things are actually still miraculously not that messy. But you need to sort of clear the air. Open the windows. Let that fresh air in. Even, I'll do that even in the dead of winter if it's, granted, not all day or anything, but if it's feeling really stuffy and when things are starting to feel really bogged down, especially in winter, people can get really stir crazy and cabin fever, and so I will crack open a few windows, maybe open up the front door and just leave the screen door closed, and let in that cooler air and move the air around some, because stagnant air, and granted, yes, it's not completely stagnant, but it feels that way. Stagnant air can make for a stagnant energy. So I will open up the windows, and sometimes that is the best thing in the world you can do. Bring in that air from outside, and light some incense, or play music. Music is amazing for charging anything. You can charge. I charge crystals with music. I charge rooms with music, and it's just, to me, one of the best things in the world to do. So that is another great way to help move energy and clear out crappy, yucky energy, is just open windows or open up your curtains. Let all that sun in, especially during the winter or the colder months when the sun doesn't come out all that often. Oh my gosh, if I see the sun in the wintertime, I'm just so happy, and I will open up everything. And as far as like curtains, and let all that sun, as much sun in as I can. And even on hot days, if it's a crappy energy day, I will open up the curtains and let that sun in, and I will hang stuff like, I'm playing with this pendulum, y'all, because I just bought it and I'm kind of letting it get to know me. But I'll even hang stuff like pendulums in the windows. If I have any quartz, clear quartz, or any kind of prisms, I will hang those in windows, and when the sun is shining, and let that shine in. Even just colored glass, because colors have magic, as we all know. I will hang up colored glass in windows. If a room needs to be a little bit more cheery, I will hang up, some yellow glass. If it needs some love energy, like just not really passion so much, it's just that nice love vibe, I will hang up some pink glass in the windows. I have several. I have some that are red, and I'll hang those in the bedroom, because you want that passion. Or even in the kitchen, cooking is very passionate, and so I will hang those up in the kitchen. and things like that. You can do so much with just some of the smallest, easiest little things. Um, if you have a feather fan, you can go through the house, and I like to speak like quotes or something and sort of push them around the room with the feather fan. That's a lot of fun, especially if it's I need this right now, I need this room's energy to change right now, especially after a fight and I've calmed down enough to think clearly. I will go through a room and charge it with words and take that feather fan and just sort of, in my mind, I'm pushing the words around the room so they sort of saturate the room. And to me, that's a great way to change the energy very quickly in a room whenever you really need it. So, like I said, especially after an argument or a fight. We don't have a lot of fights in my house, actually, but when we do, they tend to be pretty loud. We are a group of passionate people, so it will, I usually want to act pretty quickly after that happens. So, yeah, that is what I do, y'all. I cannot really think of anything else. It's just as far as like inspiration, besides the same stuff that most people have said about magically cleansing and cleaning a room. But I do encourage you to do this on a pretty regular basis. Even with the stuff that you put out to absorb negative energy, a lot of times when we're thinking about that, when we're thinking about putting those things out, it's because we're thinking of people outside of the home. We're not thinking of people bringing stuff into the home. And it happens. It's not like they're purposely trying to ruin the energy of your house, but when you have a shitty day, you have a shitty day, and you bring that in. And whenever you cleanse regularly and disperse that energy regularly, you will notice a big change in the way people act when they come home, even when they've had a crappy day. People tend to, at least at my house, we tend to laugh a little bit more at our crappy days and sort of poke fun at ourselves a little bit more whenever we have crappy days, instead of just dwelling in the shit. So I hope that helps everyone and gives you a little bit of inspiration and ideas and ways you can incorporate magic every day into your life and have a very happy, energetic home. So y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.